Welcome back to Inside Out. Well, let's move to our Swotlight segment. And the companies we are focusing on is Navneet Education. Well, the company is a textbook and a supplementary book publishing as well as a stationery manufacturing company, progressively growing and catering to India's large student and school community. Its business got badly hit due to COVID in the last couple of years with schools shut. But the company is an unlocked play with a bit of a difference as the kids go back to school. Well, the company has various catalysts that are lined up, which we'll get to in just a bit, and they could serve as tailwinds for the next few years. First up, let's explain the business model in a little bit more detail. The company has two business verticals, namely publications as well as stationery. Its publication business includes both print as well as digital content and also curriculum-based, particularly in states like Maharashtra and Gujarat, and non-curriculum based across the country. Now, pre-COVID, you almost had an equivalent amount of revenue coming in from both these two divisions. The stationery business, though, is skewed towards the high-end and the high-margin export business. Talking about margins, well, let's focus on the margin front. Publishing business gets margins in excess of around 30%, while the blended stationery business is around the low teens, which is aided predominantly by the exports margins. Navneet Education is in process of migrating from a pure-play publishing business to a phygital conglomerate, which means it's moving towards a model that combines the online course instruction with the fortnightly in-person educational sessions. The company has exposure to edtech space via investments in a few companies, namely K12 Techno, which runs Orchid Schools, and also via its own business, which includes brand names like TopTech, GenX, as well as LeapBridge. The key drivers for the stock from here on will be implementation of the new education policy, which can give a bit of a tailwind to growth for the next few years on a steady state basis, as there would be a new curriculum framework which will be introduced, which leads to demand as the students, well, they'll have to discard the old textbooks. The timing of this rollout, though, that's extremely crucial. Stationery exports growth, well, that's a key to track, and any kind of slowdown, well, that could hurt them a little bit. The swing factor, though, that could come from the edtech business if it turns around. The management spoke to us earlier in August 2022 and they gave a fairly gettable revenue growth guidance. They're talking about around 1,600 crores of revenues with margins of around 21%, though they indicated that exports have seen a bit of a slowdown. Now, if any of this doesn't play out, well, it'll be a bit of a risk. Getting to the valuations, then the company trades at around 14 times its forward earnings, which is par for the course for a company who has an ROC of around 25% pre-pandemic. But what gives valuation comfort is that it holds a fourth in K12, whose value is around 20% of the company's current market capitalization. Also, if the edtech losses could narrow down, then that provides an additional booster shot for the stock. Well, as we wind down, let's leave you with the key shareholders in the company. The promoter entity, they hold the largest chunk, and you have a couple of other domestic institutions in there that have close to around 10% stake in the company. Well, we've completely run out of time on this edition of Inside Out. It's goodbye from our team here. But do write to us and tell us about companies that you want us to discuss. We'll try to get them on the show, we'll feature them, and we'll also ask all the questions that you want to ask. Thanks so much for watching.